What's going on, guys? Mark here from Unit Martial Arts, and we're back here again with another Technique Tuesday. Alright, so today we're going to be switching it up a little bit and we're going to talk about kickboxing. Primarily, we're going to be focusing on the shadowboxing aspect. Now, we're going to be going over a couple drills and tips that can hopefully help you improve your kickboxing as well as the way you shadowbox. So without further ado, let's get training. Alright guys, so for this episode we're going to be talking about shadowboxing. Now, shadowboxing is primarily seen in boxing, kickboxing, more of the stand-up arts, but it's a very, very important skill that everyone can benefit from in any martial arts. Alright guys, so the first tip I want to give you on shadowboxing is that you want to envision as much as you react. So let's break that down for a quick second. In shadowboxing, majority of the times what you can find that in, or that term being used, is for kickboxing, boxing, most of the stand-up arts. And the equivalent to that on the traditional martial arts side would be the kata for karate, the pumse for taekwondo, so on and so forth. So when we talk about envisioning, that's the biggest tip that I can give people in terms of the mental aspect, is you want to be able to see how the technique looks like in your mind. You want to see how you could piece together a jab to a cross, to a slip. You want to envision how big the room is. You want to envision how big the ring, the cage, how big your opponent is, if they're taller, smaller. Those are the type of things that you kind of want your brain to prepare for. And if we bring it to the other side, so when we talk about reacting, you want to be able to react without thinking. You don't want to think your combination before it happens. It just has to flow nice and natural when that opportunity comes. So I myself am not an advocate of kata. I do believe that the moves within it should be able to be applied with a partner or in a certain drill, actually understanding where it should be placed. However, for those that understand the movement, for those that understand the concept of a kata or shadowboxing, it makes your movement that much more fluid because not only your body understands it, but now your mind understands it as well. And I know that sounds kind of tricky, like, you know, if my body knows it, shouldn't my mind know it as well? But on the contrary, a lot of fighters, a lot of what they do is based off of a reaction. It's muscle memory, or in our case, in tactical arts like Kali and Wing Chun, it's very sensitive based. So if I feel a certain touch on my forearm, that's going to make me react before my brain even thinks it. Alright, so the second tip that we're going to go over is that you want to make it realistic. As much as you envision that process, you want to make it realistic. So what that could entail is, it's not only going to be offense. You're not only going to be throwing your punches and your kicks. You're going to have some defense. So you want to start implementing that body language, that slipping, some parrying, some checks. Combine it, make it as realistic as possible because you want your body to envision a realistic fight. Okay, so a lot of the partner drills, that's why I kind of favor them because it's just almost as real as it can get as opposed to a kata where you have to learn and understand where you're getting hit from and why you're doing this move and why you're doing that move without actually seeing it. So again, whatever martial arts you guys are doing, when you're shadowboxing, you're doing a kata, as long as you're in control of shadowing, make sure that you have your defensive movements mixed in with your offensive movements. So the next tip I'm going to give you guys is a drill that's very, very simple, and I use it very frequently in my kickboxing classes. So if you're taking tip number 1 and tip number 2, envisioning and making it realistic with offense and defense, now you're just going to add in a little bit of controlled footwork. So it's very, very simple. If you guys have puzzle mats like we do here, just choose 4 corners of a single tile. If you have squares like we do, use that even better. If you just have solid mats that you train on, pick the corners of the walls. Now, what you're going to do is very simple. You get into your stance, whatever it is. You get your hands up. You start adding in your shadowboxing, whatever the combo is. When either you or the coach or instructor calls switch, you either step to the side, you can loop to the side, you can pass, slip, whatever you really want, and you're going to face the second corner. Follow in with your combination again. Switch happens. That's the third corner. We're going to make a full square or diamond switch. And from here, I can choose to loop it back to the front, or I can choose to go the opposite direction. Alright, so the last tip I'm going to give you guys, it's a very simple drill, and this is usually the way I introduce people into my kickboxing program, and I call it the standard 6. So typically in a lot of stand-up arts like boxing and kickboxing, you have 6 basic strikes before you start adding in elbows and looping strikes and all those cool things. So you have your number 1, your jab, 2, your cross, 3, your lead hook, 4, your rear hook, 5, your lead uppercut, and 6, your rear uppercut. Now, rear can be your right hand if you're orthodox, which means you're right-handed, left leg's in front, or if you're southpaw, it's just the opposite direction. So on a side view here, so you can kind of get the gist of what I'm doing. The hands are going to be coming up, and rather than doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, we're going to do all of left, so 1, 3, 5, and then all of right, 2, 4, 6. Okay, so when my hands are up here, I'm going to go jab. This is our 1. We bring it back, twisting our knee, using our hip, hook, 3, bring it back, leading into our 5, uppercut, and back. Switch it to my right side, we go 2, back, rear hook on 4, back, and uppercut on the rear hand, 6. So when you put it together, it should look like this. 3, 5, 2, 4, 6. 1, 3, 5, 2, 4, 6. So if you notice, I get a little pop in all of my shots. That's because I'm resetting and chambering my hands so that I get the full motion. So as I get shadow boxing and I try to envision it, I want my movements to be as crisp as possible and try not to, half do that combination. I want to make sure everything is sharp from start to finish so I get it as realistic as possible. Alright guys, so that's your Technique Tuesday for this week. Just to review everything, tip number 1 was to envision as much as you react. Tip number 2, make it realistic, have some offense in combination with defense. Tip number 3, we did the 4-corner drill, and tip number 4, we did the standard 6 drill. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you give us a thumbs up. Comment below if you have anything else to add. We're always ready to learn. If you guys want, please, please, please check out our talk show episode. It comes out every Thursday. The links will be here or here, somewhere at the top. Again, hope you guys enjoyed it. Till next time, see you then.